Let me ask you something. When did church start looking like a business? Because at some point it stopped feeling like a place you go to for help and started feeling like a place that just wants your money.
I had somebody in the congregation ask why I'm wearing Christian Dior and Christian Louboutins. Because I'm a Christian and I walk in the blood of Jesus. Give him some praise.
And that's why the Druski skit hit so hard. It wasn't just funny, it uncovered an important conversation about religion that needs to be talked about, especially after seeing the outrage from both Christians and pastors. Because of this, I decided to look into the history of church, what it was meant for, and how it's been used to exploit people now. Before we get into it, if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Historically, churches were established public spaces where communities gathered to pray, organize, and support each other. They functioned as social welfare institutions providing essential services such as food, shelter, and education long before government programs existed. Because of this role, churches have been recognized as charitable organizations and granted tax-exempt status for over a century. Under IRS Code Section 501c3, churches are classified as public charities. This means they don't pay any federal income tax, state or local property taxes, and don't even have to file annual tax returns. This is meant to apply to all of their religious and charitable work, like running services, community programs, and maintaining the buildings. However, they are expected to pay tax on any unrelated activities. To me, this made sense as they're meant to be serving the public and that money was going back into the community. But people started taking advantage of these benefits to enrich themselves. I personally never understood how churches operate, so I decided to look into the ways they receive money. Tithes are where members are expected to give up 10% of their income. Seed offerings are expected contributions asked for by pastors at the end of Sunday services. They also run special campaigns to raise money for specific projects, debt reduction, and end-of-year giving that's always framed as urgent and necessary. Now churches are earning additional money from selling CDs, books, and clothes, and are even earning media revenue through subscriptions and advertisements. Pastors will use verses to keep the money flowing.
You do your part and let him in your boat. Honor him with your income, and God will bless you in ways you've never imagined.
It's the promise and belief that if you give now, you will receive more in the future, to get as much as they can out of you. Church has now been transformed into an entertainment experience. They are making multi-million-dollar upgrades, spending on stages, cables, and sound systems, while still barely helping communities in need. Some have even gone as far as operating merchant coffee shops. One of the biggest examples of this new wave of entertainment in church is with Pastor Mike Todd.
Don't care so much. It's just a temple. Syrup all over the communion. Somebody said, let me get a slice. You've had plenty.
Transformation Church has had many antics go on like this, even going as far as bringing a Tesla inside. I mean, when has this been required for worship? I don't get how people can sit and watch this. Services like these should really make you question what's being done with your money. You start noticing a gap in how differently some of these pastors are living. They are driving luxury cars, wearing designer suits every Sunday, living in mansions, owning multiple properties, and even private jets. You can't even question what they're doing with their money. They always find a way to deflect and justify what they buy.
A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do.
Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
For someone so confident in their right to own those jets, the defensiveness says a lot. And what's worse is most of these items are registered as church assets, so they're completely tax-free. These pastors go to extreme lengths to get whatever they can out of you. Pastor Marvin Sapp has even locked members in the church until financial goals are met, attempting to raise $40,000 on the spot.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, this is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, That's $40,000 tonight.
What's worse is when you've given what you can and these pastors still don't appreciate it.
Hi, Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm going to work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
The disrespect he showed is crazy, especially for $1,200. He wasn't appreciative at all. Then after facing backlash, he used this woman to downplay and defend his actions to fix his public image.
But first, we need to clear up a major misunderstanding that's gone viral on social media.
You're the woman in that viral video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction.
And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call. And that's all that was.
What people don't think about is how these donations could be setting their families back generations. Today, with high inflation rates, increasing unemployment, and the growing wealth gap, people are wondering why they don't have money for anything. Think about it, that 10% of your income that you give up every year could be used for so much more. It can be saved and invested to send your kid to college, buy a new home, move to a better area, but instead you're just feeding a pastor's luxury lifestyle. And there are genuinely good believers and pastors calling out this scam. Tithes are not mandated under the Bible.
Some of the worst offenders right now that are being exposed and many are in prison always say, hey, Sean, your money is not yours, it's God's. So give me 10% and we're going to do what we feel we need to do with it and leave it up to God. I would argue Christ would disagree with that entirely. Because Christ says, Sean, pick up your cross and follow me.
You won't be cursed by God if you don't give 1/10 of your money to your church. That's not what we're called to do. So most people will go to Malachi 3, right? That's what you hear. You're robbing God. You're going to be cursed. You'll be cursed by God if you don't give him 1/10 of your money. Go back and read the beginning of Malachi. It is a prophecy written to Israel. That's important when we talk about reading things in context. It was to Israel. It's to them. Here's the thing about it too. Go back and look at the tithe that they had. It's crops. It's their animals. It's food. You see this today in our day and time. You see this in the American church and just the contemporary church today. We take these verses that were for Israel for this time and what they were doing. They're not even money. You don't see them doing money. You see them doing these crops and these foods. And we pull it into today, and many of you have left church because of these false teachings, because of this abuse thing out there where a pastor gets up there and says, you're going to be cursed. You guys need to give us your money. I've seen people and heard people that were in churches that were told when there's people who died, when they've lost people, when terrible things have happened in their life, and they're like, you're going to be cursed unless you give us money. They'll run with this, and they're going way off of this tithe, and they're pulling this in there to a church, and they are controlling people by saying, you just need to give us your money, and this curse is going to be lifted.
Churches need to be more transparent, especially with the recent uproar of scamming. They can still choose to file annual tax forms to receive a certificate of good standing. There should be nothing to hide, and those that refuse should be investigated. When exposed, they need to face actual consequences, jail time, lawsuits, and public apologies. Pastors can't keep getting away with this. We need to wake up. Religion is not a business.